Nope. Mm-mm. Tell me when. Oh, okay. You got me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I was muted.
Can you still hear that music?
Nope.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
That's what I figured. I gotta. I don't know why. Can you hear that music?
Oh, shucks. Do 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 do. What's happening? Let's get it to it.
Incoming calls.
I can't get that one
I don't see you none of that.
right. So with it.
You don't hear the music?
Nah, I don't hear nothing, big bro.
Alright. I gotta figure that shit out.
Oh man. Oh, what's up? Let me see if I can share this thing out here.
Alright, I'm disappearing.
Alrighty, alrighty. Well, welcome everybody. How long
Hold
we?
on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Give yourself because I didn't get time for the live stream to kick in. So go give yourself about I'll tell you when to start.
Here we go. We about to get it in.
Hold on. All right, in. All right.
Wow,
Okay, 10
four,
seconds.
three.
Start talking.
All right. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. Well, welcome. Welcome to the Sohigho Gas Company over here at the Voice It Radio. Once again, coming to you remote from the Cubby Cub. Nah, I hate that name, to be honest with you. We live from Thieveland, Ohio, man, day after 420. I hope everybody's safe and had a great little celebration yesterday. It's a little pie holiday, sort of turning into Rookie Day out here. I think the Dab Fest, I forgot, the June,
Don't
when,
break my leg, shit.
when we all dabbing. I still can hear you, though, EP. EP, I hear you still, though, anyway. Okay, there you go. And then we go kick it a little bit today on the Ohio Gas Company. We like to talk about cultivation, information, and the legalization of the cannabis product here in Ohio. There has been a lot of federal movement going on this week. Like just this week, Joe Rogan went on. He was at the White House and he asked President Trump to like accelerate the your mushrooms and the MDA and this Ibuterol or something like that for PTSD treatment. The good thing about that for cannabis users, especially here in Ohio, is that it should loosen up some of the laws. Don't forget, President Trump did sign in the the lowering of the testing restrictions on the cannabis plant, though. So it is like uh, federally decreased all the way from a Schedule 3, and it is being looked at from a federal level for medicinal purposes. But like you say, 40, the majority of the people in the United States have already said yes to the cannabis plant. And I believe 40 states either have adult use or medical use of the cannabis plant, marijuana, here in the state. So that's over 50% of the population is okay with it. So that's kind of like majority rules here. If you access democratically here in the United States, we should be able to. And it's somebody who use alcohol and cannabis that I believe that you should be allowed to use them both because if you could drink alcohol and be responsible, I think alcohol will get you in much deeper trouble than cannabis, but they both can. Like I always tell you, I never get on this live or never had this broadcast without telling you that you can eat too much weed. You edibles, when you're doing tincture, you eating gummies, however you are consuming activated THC orally, you have a chance to do too much. When you are doing edibles, you must just use a little bit. This weekend we had a great time out. One day took a little bit, the next day took a little bit, and that's the difference between being like really chill and having a good time with some energy, or maybe just so relaxed that you just feel like you want to Netflix and chill. Especially if you aren't regular or you know your tolerance. The best way to go about eating edibles, if you never did it before, start at about 5 milligrams. Do not sit there and eat edibles with your cousin who eat them for sport, or they a teacher, or they in a job that they had to eat weed to go to work with. That's not the person that you want to measure your standard for if you can handle what they handle. They have a higher tolerance, and you also have to think about how rosin is being, or if it's been rosin extract versus a distillate extract in the edibles. What I mean by that, it means that when you have a distillate extract, it's good. It get a lot of THC, but I think it's just a lot more green matter, a lot more chlorophyll, a lot more green stuff. When you have a rosin extract into gummies, you just get the trichomes. That's where the THC lives. You know, the leafy matter, we okay with it because we've been smoking it for all our life. But what we really are looking for is the THC. But is it other properties in that leafy matter? I'm gonna tell you absolutely, because without that, like I like to dab, it's no problem. Do I want to dab all day long? Not particularly me. Will I over not smoking? Absolutely, I will. Is it the same as burning for me? No, because I'm like old school and I just like what I like, and I'm so used to it. Even I just like, I don't know what it is. I'm like that. Even when we smoking, like say you get your packs and you vaporizing your weed and you just sucking it. You just hitting the hitting the bag, or using your packs machine and you just vaporizing your flower and the vapors is coming up. Like even that is not the same as it being on fire. Let me tell you, both will get you smashed. Vaporizing your weed is got to be the number one. And if you looking to be ultra conservative, we don't talk about this in a while, but if you looking to be ultra conservative and you smoking flower, and then we'll talk about edibles, now we'll talk about flower and how you can be the most efficient. A vapor bag, it's got to be number one. You don't lose any of your THC. It's all in an oven bag, and then you just inhale your THC like that. You use probably the less, and then what's left over is not completely burnt all the way to a ash. That burnt up weed you can use for edibles also. So if you was really being efficient about using the whole cannabis plant all the way, you would probably do something like that. You would vaporize all the crystals off, all the excess you might drop into. I probably would say you would do some oil infusion on it, and I definitely would use soy lycium to get that little 20% bump on it, and I would make like oil out of it if I really liked it. And that's like really some apocalyptic type stuff, but if it could be like that. So if you really have to do that, you want to be conservative. If shit change, that re-rock, that rehash will be good, but I'm trying to tell you, you'll use it. It's kind of like burnt through, Like, if anybody ever heard of like putting your blunt in the microwave, it's nothing. It's the same thing as decarbonation. What is decarbonation? Decarbonation is when you heat the weed up to activate the weed plant. You activate THC at about, I believe you're gonna activate it at about 225 is what we put it in the oven for at 225, 250 at about 35 to 40 minutes, and you will activate the THC. That's the only time you could transfer it into oil. Or you put it into your crock pot, leave it in there at 180, 200 degrees, but then you risk burning it. That's the only way you separate that. And when you separate your weed into oil or something like that, the oil has to have a fatty content. That's why we just in a glass of water won't get you high. It just won't. It's no fat in water. Milk, you can get high. I think if you put back in the day, they used to say if you put like if you had that tea thing, you got a tea bag, empty it out, put your weed in there, and then it was milk in there. I think people used to get high like that. Back in the day, I kind of remember something like that. But see, I've been lactose intolerant for a long time, so I don't do a lot of milk. But in theory, since it's a fat module inside of milk, the THC modules will attach to milk. Number one is right now was coconut oil. Hands down, that's got to be a fatty oil right there, and it's semi-healthy. And coconut oil does a lot for, you can make good gummies out of it. It do cook pretty good. And then you got to go to the high smoke oils also, the grapeseed oils. Avocado oil is a light oil, but that still has its purpose. Like if you had a first rinse of some good crystals, or you had like some key for something, and you wanted to make avocado oil for taste, it's very good. And the other bad thing about coconut oil is if you was trying to make lotion out of coconut oil, it is too greasy in my estimation. That's when you could come back to olive oil. And then don't forget, it's always the tinctures and the sugars. And that's when you are using alcohol based Everclear, and you're putting it in the sugar and then letting it dry back out into crystals like that. So you letting all of the alcohol burn off or evaporate. I don't do that a lot because I don't drink alcohol, and I'm scary about getting used to the taste of alcohol. So I usually don't do any other tincture mixes like that. But uh, absolutely, be smart. It's a lot of good things on YouTube about how to do extracts. Look up the Arden line. Arden was made by a black lady. That's a decarbonation machine, and they have the best. The reason why I fuck with Arden, because a long time ago they gave you a rough estimate of dosage for the kind of weed you have, and I kind of follow that. So like when you look at them, if you follow them like with 7 to 10 grams of cannabis, and this is all approximate numbers, that is about 7 to 10 grams at about a cup of oil, maybe a little more, so you get all the way to a cup. And 7 to 10 grams worth of leafy matter, and it don't make a difference if we talk shake, bud, or whatever. After you decarbed it, 7 to 10 grams. So you see that little range? That's 3.5 in there, whether it's strong or not strong. And in that, a third of a cup, then at 12 cookies, you can do the math at that, and you will be at about 50 milligrams. And that way you could go, like if you did a recipe that had a third of a cup of, I know about doing these cookies that's got 12 cookies in it, a third of a cup of oil, and it seems like I can almost guarantee that those are about 40 to 50, and it's in between the ranges of 21% THC in your bud up to about 23, 24. Anything higher than that, I doubt you're gonna be making oil out of it, so unless you got some great shake, man. So that's a little bit decarbonation and why you should not eat too much weed out there, man. You gotta be careful, man. Hope everybody had a super safe 420, man. It was a lot going on, pop up down in Columbus, the city capital, the state capital. Had the biggest one this in the Midwest, if you ask me. And they were smart. Pulled it off on Saturday, so snuck around the law. It was rookie night yesterday. I did hear about people getting pulled over. I will say that the deals in Michigan yesterday, as far as Monroe, I had some friends go up. Not that good. No good doorbusters. I was just up there not too long ago. Um, it's about the same. You got to hunt for everything now. Uh, it's starting to balance out a little bit. I think when they do all of this PR, they just shake the market up. So I think us as cannabis consumers and new customers to the new legal part about this, it just when they throw so much smoke up here, like in Ohio, don't go across state line, which is the law. Don't break the law. You got a better chance not to go to jail if you don't break the law. So it's a lot of things that a lot of news, a lot of scaring you out of things. You still could grow 6 plants here in Ohio, and you could grow 12 if you two adults is in the house, up to 12 per household. So that's still available to you. So the transportation law, I don't know. You know, the hemp companies has been at that law with the hemp drinks here in Ohio have been at that law since they started that law. So I'm not 100% sure if that's even a viable law because it's being challenged in here in Findlay, Ohio. It's a stay. I think the stay had lifted. We had went online like last week. It was talking about the stay, and I didn't check the injunction. So I'll get back at you like next week with the injunction out of Columbus because she didn't put a stay, a temporary block, but it's like outside companies who invested in this market in advertising and things like that, and then they changed the law on them. I don't really know. You know, if you pass a regulation, whatever that is, you know, I don't know. It's just weird because there's no regulation. Half the agencies in this country, and then they want to like hyper regulate this. It's kind of corny, man. I don't even know. Like, I mean, I won't even talk about that. Regulate food prices before you come over here with that crazy stuff, though. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think it should demand. I don't think it's such a social problem at all that it would demand. It's not even a legal problem at all. So it ain't really even a social problem if you age gate it right and things that happen like they're supposed to. But like a lot of laws, man, I mean, they're only good as the people enforcing them, which they ain't gonna be good because people is people. So that's my opinion about that. So we're gonna keep it moving and talk about a little bit of cultivation. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What did I tell you guys about going too early? A lot of people put that in. We got that 50, 60-degree weather. And this weekend, the hailstorm. I told you, like last week, the hailstorm, last year, the hailstorm tore up some good. Pineapple upside down cake was looking good. It was about a good foot tall, probably about good 3 or 4 side branches with probably about 3 or 4 off those. It was starting to look like a good tree that was brushing up. I had about 14 of them about that height, and the hailstorm tore it up. And it happened again this weekend. The hail came in. You know, you got to be very careful here in Ohio. And it's another thing that we're dealing with this year is wind is crazy, man. It is windier than I could remember. Like, it's just very, very strong winds right now. So that's another thing about when you getting outdoors. If you, where you got to plant at, you need to have enough sunlight. But then when you got a lot of sunlight like that and it's open and it's not around nothing, that's probably like a high stress wind place. Um, for all you people growing on the side of your house, make sure you put the non-windward side and the sunniest side, and try to remember which way the sun is going to travel for the duration of the thing. You want to have your plant on the side of your house where the sun is going to finish at in the fall. So if it's going east to west, if you're lucky like that, you kind of want your plant further in the back of the yard because it's going to catch the low sun better. Everybody put it close up, but as soon as you get behind the house, you're going to be blocking it. So be conscious about where you put your plants at. And you might need to consider like buckets. But if you guys is putting buckets in, I don't know who is going outside and not cutting drain holes. Anywhere in this whole process, you need to drain. It's except for popping the seeds. That's the only time I tell you you'll keep something submerged, your seed, your plant, or anything submerged, and that's gonna be like when you popping your seed. Other than that, drain hose, drain hose, drain hose. If you go outside, I would get one of them hose saws and maybe put some mesh around the bottom of it so it can breathe. You want the water to drain out, and you want it to be able to dry out also. So a lot of times when I got like a dirt, if I'm growing in a bag into one of the velvet bags or one of the bags, and I feel like it's too wet, man, I will definitely cut holes in the side of that bag. I will give up a $5 bag over potential $300-400 worth of good weed that I could smoke. I would definitely do that. But make sure you guys got proper drain holes this year, and make sure your plant is elevated up and it don't sit in the water, man. You really got to worry about your drybacks, especially when we getting started. So everybody that's inside right now, prepping your plants to go outdoors, you shouldn't even be on a watering schedule. Like, even though every day, every 2 or 3 days, your plant will tell you. If you are in veg, you should be watering nothing but every 3 or 4 days. You give it a good dose, and then you want it to dry back. You want the roots to start searching for water. That's when the roots is growing. But you still, in that, as much as I say that dry back, that environment still needs to be tropical in vegetation. In seeds, it need to be seedlings, the most tropical. I'm thinking about 70 and 77, and that's managed consistently with a heat pad in the dark, and I'm trying to pop those seeds. After you done pop the little seeds, you get it into your first dirt medium, peat moss, cocoa core, whatever you put it in, and you got it in a tray, you got a little dome on it. Make that thing sweat, but you also, it's always a contradiction, you still need air circulating for some crazy ass reason, but you do. Got to keep that fresh air coming in there. So you got the little dome, you want to sweat it, and you got the little vent with a little crack, a fan on the outside with a little bit of breeze still going around it, and I'm still on the hot side. 70 degrees, 71 degrees, not heat pad, but trying to keep the inside that tent. But I'm trying to regulate it with the vents and maybe cracking the top a little bit if I'm out of the solo cups at that stage. But then from there, solo cups right into the tent maybe for a day. Sometimes you have to keep it close to the light. That's another thing. We'll talk about lights here in a minute. Sometimes when you're coming from seedlings, before you go in your big tent under your big light, you need to set your plants outside the tent first and let it like just get not straight on light. So if the tent, you're in a tent and your light right here, maybe outside. If we talking outside, they should probably be under some type of grow light right now, imitating the sunlight. And that's another little trick. Set your sunlight up to set your lamps up to match the sunlight outside, and then it won't be so herky jerky. The other weird thing is, it seemed like it's been a lot of. It seems like it's a lot of like feminized type autoflower seeds going up. So many people, and my good homie like pop these other vegging for maybe about 2 weeks, and them things just flip. They wouldn't have bud. And I'm trying to tell y'all, as much as you want to resend it back in the veg at that point, you might as well see it all the way through, my boy. It's over with. Once that sucker start budding, it's you on a journey. I mean, you got to be dedicated to it to get that back to veg. It's gonna take you a minute, man. I mean, it's a minute, and then you got to get back to a regular ass veg, watering pattern. You got to get it back into a veg tent. I mean, and then like a lot these seeds now, autoflower don't really give a shit, right? So what I think is happening that it's a bunch of like autoflower seeds out there. I don't know how it happened, but I think it's a bunch of autoflower seeds out there, and we making a mistake of, no, I think we just vegging them, and they just turning so quick. But even as an autoflower, an autoflower, could take almost any light that you give it. Like it's gonna do its thing. But you want to grow a good plant. The problem with what's happening right now with these seeds seem like they popping early is the plants is so little. Like it's like they're not even like 8, 9 inches. Somebody's on our Facebook group here in Ohio, and they just turned over so quick. Good plants. I mean, the best thing I could even right then is after it pop. I don't think you get your best clones if it's already switched out of veg into budding. When you take clippings for there, that plant is confused. You put it back in the dirt as a cutting, it don't know what it's doing. It's like almost like am I supposed to be finishing flowering or what am I? So that's a little bit of I don't know how that far into it, but I tell you, out of our own experimentation, I never got a cutting off of a plant that we flipped, and then it made it all the way to growth the next cycle. So here's what you usually do when you are getting ready to clone. In veg, grow one of your veg plants big, and that should be your mother plant. And off that mother plant, that's what you take cuttings off of. If you smart and you got a good plant and you got the room, if you blessed enough to have a veg room and a budding flower room, which is the same thing, budding and flower is the same thing, you can keep just a mother plant. A mother plant will serve you good, especially when you grow like, that's why I say pop 7 seeds. Give 2 or 3 away. Keep the best for yourself. And the one that looked the strongest and the best, let that mug grow into a tree in your veg. And cut that mug up to it look like a hedge. It should be just like you lollipopped it. So everything after a node or two at the bottom of that mug, that's what you want to clone. Get you some pea pods from every store that sell garden stuff, just the regular old garden pea pods. They fill up with water. Put some Clonex. If you don't got Clonex, honey and aloe work great. Scrape a little bit of the bottom of the plant off. Put it in the dust or the Clonex, the root powder, Clonex, either honey or aloe. Aloe works perfect. Stick it into the pea pods and then wait for roots to pop out of the side of those things. Man, that is just the right way to do. That's the way that you could keep one plant going, be consistent with a good grow, and grow through a couple. You could let that roll for a couple years if you do that. And if you got a good plant, that's why the commercial is different. But every year we growing something different and different and different. But nobody follow that old plan. Hold yourself down with a good mother plant. Just one good mother plant. I like to see everybody like whatever your favorite strain is. So we've been growing for 2 or 3 years. So put your favorite strain up in your closet. So just grow in your tent. If you like purple, you should always have a big ass, bushy ass mother plant and just trim it back down. You could treat that plant so fucking bad. Just keep topping it. And every time you top it, you make another clone. I would top that thing till it's about 64 to about 124 different places that bud will grow. And it'd be so top heavy that if you did bud it or if you did set it outside, it will be a great producer. It's funny how that happened. But that's some of the like I don't know. Something like we throw that mother plant in there. A lot of times, the problem with throwing that mother plant after you had it like that is it's already like God dog is 6 feet tall already when you send it out there. And if you growing like that, you know what you're doing. You might not even want that because you growing the the clones off that mother plant, taking the cuttings off that mother plant, and those been in your garden. So you've been smoking that weed for a couple cycles, and some of your people should have been doing it already too. So that's a little bit with that. So, but we ain't gonna keep holding y'all today, man. Happy 420 to everybody, man. It's a lot going on. A little bit about what is going on. I probably should be over at some city council meeting or something about housing or something like that, man. It's a lot going on. Uh, Definitely announcing and proud to say that Voice of Radio is title sponsor over at the Art Fest this year. St. Clair Superior. I'm sure we're gonna have some type of live coverage from EP and the crew. Shout out to the whole Voice of Radio team, man. Golly, man. I miss y'all, man. Where's all my people at, man? And definitely shout out to my main man, EP. He's on the board, man. He's remote, man. I always appreciate him for giving us this platform. Like I always say, man, one of the best reporters in here. And we do have the Activism Award show coming up this year. Along with, don't forget now, as much as we talk about this plant and things like that, if you addicted to anything, don't forget, you can always go by the Adams Board, man. The Adams Board right here in Ohio, man, they do a lot of sponsorship over at the Voice of Radio. They got a couple shops. If you dealing with addiction problems or anything, including the cannabis plant, stop in at the Adams Board, man. They can really help you out. They've been with us for a long time. They got great results, man, but you know, you really got to help yourself in those situations. But check out the Adams Board, man, for all your little needs like that. And shout out to Red Lion Tattoo. You looking for any tattoo news? Imago Day Studio with all your photos and everything. We got HGS, got a new album coming out, man. We got the Thieveland skateboards. And we got Go Skate Day coming up this year. And we got the Mother's Day celebration. So if you aren't doing nothing on the 9th, we're going to be over on St. Clair at E.J. Kosick Hall for Mother's Day community celebration with the council people and a lot of other good people going to be over there. We also have Superior Foe is going to go down at 7 to 8 p.m. On Superior Foe on Thursday. So the last hour Superior Foe is open. Ramon Rivas to be over there. We have John Armstrong over in Tremont on April 25th with Ramon Rivas, Dave Flynn, Samantha, and it's going to be a comedy show over there on 2681 on 14th Street. Doors at 8 o'clock, I believe that is. Show at 9 at the Tremont Cigar Bar. I hope I get to smoking that damn thing. Shout out to Malik X, man. Shout out to Post Saga is going to be at the Grog Shop on May 7th. So there's some good people. Shout out to Joe Abrams, man. I don't know exactly where he's paying out. Mondo Slade and them tapped out for the Art Fest, man. You know, we got a lot of great things happening for the Art Fest. Shout out to all the people who've been supporting us. And big shout out to my homegirl, Trish, out there, man. This weekend for 420, myself, like I said, the pop-up down in Columbus, you a square if you wasn't in there. And if you didn't know, that's because you are a square. And we went to Fishbone in Detroit. That shit was a great, great show. Had a great-ass time. Fishbone, you should check him out if you see it. He got a great ass message, man. But we got a lot of great things coming up, man. Always tap in with us. SOHIGHO 216. Listen, I got one plant left, you suckers. People don't think I look at that email, but I do. SOHIGHO 216 at gmail.com if you want the last clone. It's Lucy. It's looking good. I would say keep it indoors, repot it into what you want to go outdoors in, or get your stuff ready, maybe in a little bigger pot, but you'll be ready to go, man. and get those things ready. Shout out to the Ink Wizard, man. Appreciate you so much, man. Days One, Ken, Cody, Harold, man. All my boys over there at 4030.org and 4030.com, man. Shout out to my people at the cohort and all those damn people over there. Ghetto AI. Man, big shout out to my man JJ and Sonya. Good luck to everything tomorrow, man. And I'm always with you guys, man. And we miss our people over out at my man D Foch, man. Rest up, big bro, man. Shout out to all of the family. That's still a little bit tough, man. Let's stay together and keep it right, man. Good luck to my daughter running track. Love to my other daughter and good seeing my grandson and sons, man. Everybody stay safe out there, man. Be nice, man. Be responsible. Remember, I believe in age gating. You can eat too many gummies, man. Be careful with them new weed laws out there, man. But, be safe. Be responsible, man. Have a good dang time, but don't hurt nobody, man. And like my good friend EP always said, man, smoke weed so you don't punch nobody in the face. Peace. I'll holler back at y'all. Well, to the Tubi, I appreciate y'all.